I say, see, it is quite shocking, it is quite intriguing how people, evil people, will come into government and then they will be able to use their brains, connive with people, and then embezzle funds from the government, siphon funds. I'm not about this kind of. Today, there is somebody who is in the radar. There is somebody who got into that act and has been exposed. If today is your first time joining us, make sure that you look down there, subscribe to the channel, make sure you share the channel to other people so that people will also be able to listen to the good news that we are here to share. So, yesterday, we got a letter from the ambassador to the United States of America, who is Mr. Victor Emmanuel Smith. And he comes on and says that, breaking news, arrest and detention of Mrs. Sedina Tamakloe-Attionu. I can today confirm that Mrs. Sedina Tamakloe-Attionu is being detained at the Nevada Southern Detention Center, 2190 East Mesquite Avenue, Palmherb, Nevada. My information is that she was detained by U.S. Marshals on January 6th and has since been kept at the detention center. I am reliably informed that acting on an extradition request sent to the U.S. authorities sometime in July 2024, U.S. Marshals arrested Mrs. Tamakloe-Attionu and placed her in the detention center awaiting her day in court. And this is to all media houses, signed by Victor Emmanuel Smith. Now, people ask the same questions. Who is Sedina Tamakloe-Attionu? Listen, guys, we as a country should always frown against people who come into government and steal money. You know that the MPP and NDC will always sit on the throne and then they will help each other to steal monies. But it is important that as citizens, we speak against anybody who embezzle funds, whether it is a good way for the people or is a bad way. We as citizens who are the payers, the taxpayers of these funds, need to speak on a daily basis. Now, Sedina Tamakloe is a former Chief Executive Officer of MASLOC, and MASLOC is Microfinance and Small Loan Center. Sedina Tamakloe was arrested, as I said, in the US of A. What did he do? Or what did she do, sorry? Now, it may be recalled that the MASLOC CEO was tried in absentia and sentenced to 10 years in prison in somewhere in April 2024, alongside his colleague Daniel Axim, who was also a former chief operating officer of MASLOC. Daniel Axim was jailed for 5 years with hard labor for causing financial loss of a sum of 90 million Ghana cedis to the state after Sedina Tamakloe absconded whilst on court approved travel for medical reasons and failed to return to the country. Now, we keep asking, why would the court even give somebody an approval to go for medical health when you know that they have embezzled huge funds here in Ghana? Are there not hospitals in Ghana that can take care of this same person? Don't we have hospital facilities? Because if the government is saying that we as citizens, we should stay here and then be able to go through all the hospitals here they have created, why are they traveling to the United States for hospital reasons, for medical care? And this is why, this is the same stories that all of them, they bring. Kenneth Friata came in, he said, I have prostate cancer, I want to go. Sedina says that I also have medical problem, I need to go, I need to travel to the US. And they all travel to the US and they don't come back. So, while they were still going through the procedure, or they were still going to the court proceeding, the court granted Sedina an opportunity to travel out of the country. In 2017, the IOCO, or which is the Economic and Organized Crime Unit, showed fraudulent disbursements of funds that Sedina has been able to cause the state when she was in office. One, She was accused of embezzling 3.19 million Ghana cedis during her tenure at MASLOC and causing a deliberate financial loss of about 1.97 million Ghana cedis to the state. She was also accused of making unauthorized commitment resulting in about a financial obligation totaling 61.74 million Ghana cedis. And listen, I'm going to give you a bit of a breakdown to what constituted the 61.7 million Ghana cedis. President John Evans Tamils, may he rest in perfect peace, he will say, "Oh, pay." So let's look at the breakdown. What really resulted in this 61.74 million? What be this guy? This is a huge sums of money, and then they will use it to buy huge apartments. They will use it to buy huge cars. Their kids are flying to Canada, to the US, to UK on daily basis, and then the poor people will keep suffering. Now let's go. One, she appropriated 500,000 of MASLOC's funds for personal use after it was returned from a private micro company or Batampa Microfinance Company. So the funds was meant to be for Batampa. They decided that, oh no, these funds are not for me. So they returned it back to MASLOC. And then she decided to keep the money in her own pocket, 500,000 Ghana cedis. Two, she also withdrew a sum of 1,816,000 Ghana cedis in tranches after the MASLOC board approved 1,706,000 Ghana cedis. So an addition of 110,000 and all the share home. So what the board approved, she decided to withdraw 110,000 more of that. Three, out of that money, which is 1,816,000, which was for a sensitization program, only 1,300 Ghana cedis was spent on refreshment for some beneficiaries in the Volta region, Accra and Brong Ahafo region, with no program taking place in other regions. So she took the money, she used 1.8 over 1.8 billion Ghana cedis. She used 1,300 Ghana cedis, 30 million per end of the year refreshment, some few individuals. The rest of the money, she did not go to all other regions to do the sensitization program, packed the remaining in her pocket. Four, appropriating of only 579,000 out of a sum of 1,465,035 cedis meant for the victims of Kantamanto market fire disaster in 2023. So if you remember, in 2023, there was a huge disaster in Kantamanto. Now, the government allocated 1,465,035 cedis for those victims. Now, some people are suffering. People's capital were gone. People were suffering. The government has been lenient and kind enough to give taxpayers money to MASLOC that go and use it to refinance and rebuild the place that can't come out to fire. Where you had women coming on the street and they were crying on a daily basis. People's capital that they've gone to take loans from banks, the banks were on their neck. Now, Sedina decided, instead of her to use the 1,400,000 Ghana cedis, she used only 579,000 and the rest she kept it. 5. Sedina procured some Chevy Aveo saloon cars and other cars that she bought from MASLOC. Now, listen to this very carefully. In the procurement of those cars, she bought 150 Chevy Aveo saloon cars at a unit cost of 74,495 Ghana cedis, which is equivalent to 18,000 US dollars, instead of 47,346 Ghana cedis, 93 pesos. So the 47,000 was the actual cost of the car, but she, instead of 47,000, she charged 74,000 in terms of procurement. So the remainder, and this is, she bought 150 of them, and she has 74,000 times 150. The difference, of pocketing. She also bought 100 Chevy Sparklights at a unit cost of 65,095 Ghana cedis, instead of 35,980 Ghana cedis, or 100 of them. She also bought 33 seater Isuzu buses at a unit cost of 445 Ghana cedis, 560 pesos. She bought 33 of them in 2013 without PPA approval. She didn't go through any procurement partnership approval. She just went on and bought. She bought all these things without going through any procedures. And what? And what about? And so she also procured 200 pieces of Samsung B310 mobile phones under a project called PINCO, Project Market Survey, at an inflated cost of 93,412 Ghana cedis, when the market value of the phones was 24,000 in 2016. She also authorized ex gratia amount of 135,592 Ghana cedis, 33 pesos, and 82,218 Ghana cedis for herself and her deputy, respectively. She authorized it. On one authorized it, as Gasha no crano, only you unfraban or authorized it. So she alone, she got 135,000. Oh, you know, say, oh, enemies with deputy, also 82,000 someone, and then deputy should 82,000 at the share. She also paid herself and her deputy 28,445 Ghana cedis and 27,487 Ghana cedis, respectively, purported in lieu of leave. And you almost leave, no. And on the deputy, they pay this amount of money to themselves while they were going on leave, so that they can go and enjoy themselves. Now, the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice, whilst answering questions in Parliament on Tuesday, November 18, 2025, disclosed that the extradition process to get the former chief executive officer, back into Ghana was far advanced. So, the Attorney General has assured us that she will do everything possible so that the extradition process of Sedina Tamakloe will be expedited very well. We need her to come here, to come and answer certain questions. I say, let me know in the comment section, what do you think about some of these embezzlements of funds? Share your mind. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and share this to any other person who would want to also share their comments. Charlie, I say, I'll see you later. I'm out. Bye.